just maybe check out the podcast and all the guests that we've interviewed. But let's go ahead and get into the good stuff. Welcome to the Marketing Smarts live show by MarketingProfs and the Marketing Smarts podcast, where we dive into B2B news, resources, valuable guest content, and much, much more each and every week. Hey, if you're a B2B marketer looking for a place to learn, keep up to date, and have some fun along the way, grab a beverage, a notepad, or at least some style of writing utensil, and welcome to the show. Hello to all my Marketing Smarts live viewers today. I'm super excited to bring you another episode of the Marketing Smarts live show. This week's topic is all about CTV, precision, and the power of ABM to reach what we all need. That's right, the right B2B audience. So if you're ready to get your learn on, buckle up and let's get ready to rock and roll. I need a rock and roll sound there. I keep saying that every week. Anyway, hopefully you know me. I'm your boy, George B. Thomas, speaker, trainer, catalyst, and host of this here show, the Marketing Smarts live show, as well as the Marketing Smarts podcast found on your favorite podcast app. Our guest clips today are brought to you by none other than Vin Turk. Vin Turk is the co-founder and COO at Madison Logic, where he is responsible for creating strategic data partnerships, as well as guiding and growing the company's business intent initiatives. Prior to co-founding Madison Logic, Vin provided senior account strategy at Industry Brain, successfully building digital advertising initiatives for some of the largest technology organizations, including Microsoft, Dell, EMC, and Intel. Before Industry Brains, Vin engineered business continuity processes and disaster recovery solutions for the Department of Defense and Hanscom Air Force Base in Massachusetts. Vin is an advisor to a number of internet startups in the New York City. He holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in computer engineering from Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, remember, the clips of Vin Turk today are pulled from the full Marketing Smarts podcast episode. And if you want to listen to the full interview with Vin Turk and myself, make sure to tune into the Marketing Smarts podcast. Link to the full show will be in the description below after the live show ends. Now, in this episode, again, I'm talking with Vin Turk. We're talking CTV, precision, ABM, and the power of it, and reaching the right B2B audience. In this first clip, I wanted to ask Vin, what are the tools, tactics, or strategies B2B marketers could leverage for their CTV and ABM needs? And here is what Vin had to share.
Well, I'd say the first tool and platform and activation system that I would recommend is Madison Logic. And that's a selfish statement. I just think that we're doing such incredible things, leveraging data, harnessing our clients' first-party information in a very secure, kind of encrypted manner. And then the ability to bring them across all these channels is unique. And that's exactly what we do. And then I would say when we look across the broader stack, most marketers today, they have some CRM system already in place, whether it's a Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, or even a combo of a CRM marketing automation like a HubSpot. But what we're seeing is more and more of these platforms are moving at such rapid pace. And we haven't talked about that other acronym yet, the two-letter acronym. Maybe we'll get to it, maybe not. But that, I think, is going to be fueling so much innovation and an acceleration of the rate at which change occurs inside these tools. So, I mean, big shout outs to Marketo on the marketing automation side, which we use. Putting these tools together and making sure that they're configured properly and data is flowing accurately and in near real time when possible is fantastic. A lot of different systems, though, they don't always play nice together. So something that I'm a big fan of are kind of middleware connector tools like a Tray.io or a Workato. Those folks have spent the time to build out connections into so many different platforms in not just MarTech, but in business intelligence, data warehousing, sales, operations, that it enables companies to simply connect in with a few clicks and have their information securely traverse between these systems to just open lots of new opportunities. And I think one of the earliest kind of players in that space was Zapier many years ago, bootstrap company that built connections APIs right into so many different systems here. So I would encourage you to always stay on the ball on what's happening, what's new. But to your point, George, it's not easy. The volume of new players and those coming out with new offerings is just exploding. And, you know, Scott Brinker's MarTech landscape every year, it gets bigger and bigger until there isn't a PDF large enough to contain all the logos on that landscape.
True facts on that PDF, Vin. Have you ever tried Madison Logic, by the way? Let us know in the chat pane. Is the tool you are using encrypted and secure? Do you have a CRM in place? And are you leveraging it for your CTV and ABM needs? Put the answer to that or any of those questions in the chat pane, or let me know on X using the hashtag MPB2B. And of course, tag me. I'm at George B. Thomas on LinkedIn and on X. We'll get back to Vin Turk and his thoughts on CTV precision and the power of ABM to reach the right B2B audience. But first, I have to ask, are you part of the Marketing Profs community yet? If not, become part of the Marketing Profs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. That's mprofs.com/MP today. Now, it's time for one of my favorite sections in the B2B news, where we talk about breaking B2B news or really important tips we find on the Google News tab. It could be Bing or something else, but on the Google News tab related to you and your B2B business. This week, the title is Frontline Marketing, the Evolution of B2B Growth Teams by John Arnold. Listen, in recent years, B2B companies have witnessed a profound shift in the way business buyers engage with them. Today's buyers make decisions in groups and are inclined to maintain their anonymity for longer periods of time, avoiding contact with salespeople until they are ready or sometimes entirely ready to purchase. These changes have major implications on B2B marketers. According to Forrester's marketing survey in 2024, 75% of B2B marketers say that their buyers are taking longer to commit to a purchase compared to a year ago. And that's a big jump from 67% a year earlier. Because of the increase in anonymous digital buying behavior, B2B marketing leaders are facing a new reality. The buyer, they have evolved, but B2B marketing hasn't, at least not fast enough. To read this article, check out the link below when the live show is over. So let's go ahead and get back to Vin Turk in his Marketing Smarts podcast episode. In this second clip, I wanted to ask Vin, what should marketers be looking at for reporting with the ABM and CTV efforts? And here's what he had to share.
Here's how I would approach it. Prior to activating an account-based strategy, prior to using connected TV, what did all of our success metrics look like? And we can start at the high level, top funnel vanity metrics. We can go down into pipeline, value, volume, velocity, my conversion rates, average contract value, and lifetime value of those customers. Use that as your baseline. And now we're saying we're going to change things up. We're going to deploy account-based marketing. We're going to test these new channels. The litmus test is, are we improving upon those baseline metrics? And some of them may not be the case. You may find that it's actually a longer sales cycle, but the upside on the revenue is exponentially greater than the traditional approach. So you have that baseline set of success metrics that cannot be argued. It's bought in at the CRO level, the CFO level, even the CEO level. We know how the business is operated and run. We're trying account-based marketing. We're using these channels, including connected TV. We are going to measure, have we increased conversion rates on a small subset of the accounts that we pursued? And how does that differ from that baseline metric? Average contract value, sales velocity, all these different ways. And so I like to look at this and say, let's establish this before we even start experimenting. And let's put out some, guesstimations. What do we think the upside incremental lift's going to be? How is this going to positively improve our conversion rates? Set those expectations with whoever managed you above, and hopefully they send that even further up the chain there. Because I'm someone that does not like surprises. And if you put out even estimates, guesses, here's what we assume is going to happen, predictions, regardless of even if you fall far off of that, you planted a flag in the ground saying, this is what I expect to happen. And now you can work from that center place saying, well, why didn't it happen this way? Let's dive into the data. Why did our conversion rates go up even more? Was it something about the channel mix? Was it something about the message, the key personas we went after and pursued? And so having the baseline as what you always point back to, always refer and look back to, kind of that rear view mirror, saying, are we heading in the right direction? And that allows us to recalibrate, maybe putting in higher octane fuel, maybe changing the tires, maybe swerving off the road a little bit and taking a different path.
swerving off the road a little bit and taking a different path. By the way, value, volume, and velocity. Are you paying attention to the baseline metrics you should? Do you know what success looks like for your company? Conversions, conversations. Oh my, what are your numbers? What are your expectations around the metrics that you're setting your goals around? That's a good one to even think of. Hey, we'll get back to Vin Turk in a few minutes, but first it's time for some dope B2B learnings from the vault of MarketingProfs articles. That's right. It's time to dig into the treasure trove. It is a treasure trove, by the way. There are a massive amount of articles that you will find over there at MarketingProfs. Anyway, a treasure trove of valuable information, and pull out 2 pieces of gold to help you be a better B2B marketer. Article 1 this week is CTV. Scale is here. So where are B2B advertisers by Gil Barzillier? Scale has always been an important factor for B2B advertisers. Whenever a new channel or targeting technique emerges that B2C advertisers are warming up to, B2B advertisers, particularly those that are resistant to change, can usually assume that their niche audience would be too difficult or too expensive to reach through that channel. Connected TV or CTV is one such channel, defined as content viewed on television via internet connectivity. CTV combines the targeting and measurement capabilities of the open internet with a big screen living room experience. Many companies are excited to finally bring their digital advertising strategies to TV shows, and B2B brands should be part of that evolution. Pardon me. Article number 2 this week. It came out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. Article 2 this week, 5 ways digital attribution can improve ROAS. Return on ad spend, by the way, can improve ROAS for CTV and OTT. Man, there's a lot of letters in that title. Advertising by TJ Sullivan. CTV OTT advertising is quickly gaining favor among B2B marketers thanks to its metric rise in adoption, or mediocre rise in adoption over the last couple years. Now that more people are working from home and staying home even when they're off the clock, viewership has skyrocketed. Looking to capture that growing audience, advertisers have scrambled to get in on the action. US CTV ad spend was predicted to skyrocket 60% to reach 14, perk them up, ladies and gentlemen, 14.44 billion by the end of 2021. And we're in 2024. So where do you think it is now? And become one of the fastest growing channels in the future. Because of that growth, B2B marketers are feeling increased pressure, hopefully good pressure, not negative pressure, to prove the value of CTV, OTT in reaching their target audiences. I don't know. How about you? Want to keep learning more? If so, check the links in the description below after the live show to get access to both amazing MarketingProfs articles. All right, back to our Vin Turk interview. Let's dive back into this conversation of CTV precision and the power of ABM to reach the right B2B audience. In this third clip, I wanted to ask Vin, how the heck can B2B marketers get started with CTV, precision, and ABM to reach the right audiences? And here's what he wanted to share with us.
Well, one of the best ways to get started is come on over to MadisonLogic.com and take a look at what our CTV offerings are in combination with our entire ABM platform. Now, for those that are maybe looking to just understand the ecosystem, the landscape, there are ways that you can programmatically target accounts in the CTV universe via a wide variety of demand-side platforms, DSPs. Now, you may not find all the benefits and the measurement side especially by going that route compared to more of an ABM-specific partner or vendor, because they have to appease a wide variety of different types of clients, consumer, and so on. When it comes to just understanding, like, how do I start this? What budget should I set aside? That's an internal conversation where you have to understand what are the limits of the types of tests that we can run and who, meaning the vendors that we should include in that experimentation and those testings. Usually find that out by talking to the vendors. So be curious, get out there and identify who may be a fit and start chatting with them. What I think they'll find is there might be just a few players that can combine account-based marketing and CTV It hasn't really hit the mainstream yet, but I think it's heading there. But dip your toe into it. Start small, experiment, understand each vendor's strengths and weaknesses and where they are focused. Are they purely and exclusively a paid media activation platform that just wants to be the best at paid media? Or maybe they're going after different areas of the value chain, personalization, chatbots, and so on. How does that fit into the equation that is your business strategy and where you want to head? That's for every marketer to decide.
How does it fit in the equation? Well, first of all, do you have the right tools? Do you know your budget? Are you curious, experimenting, and testing out CTV and ABM efforts? Do you know, again, how this fits in your strategy? We're going to get some words of wisdom from Vin Turk here in a few minutes, but right now it's time to turn the spotlight on you, the Marketing Profs community. Yep, time for From the hashtag MPB2B community. We searched far and wide in the hashtag MPB2B universe to find amazing information and conversations to bring to you, the masses. So first, make sure you're using the hashtag, and second, make sure you have fun and add value to the community along the way. Then we'll spotlight you or your crew on the show. This week, it's Vahi Habashin. His post went a little like this. You've already paid for it, but are you licensed to reuse your B2B influencer content? Can you repurpose that high quality content in 6 months or a year? In what channels? And at what cost? As you negotiate your B2B influencer content, here are 4 key elements to keep in mind. There's a link, hashtag MPB2B, hashtag B2B, hashtag marketing, hashtag B2B influencer, hashtag I thought I was going to try to do it in one breath, but I just couldn't. Hashtag influencer content, hashtag influencer user insights. That's some massive hashtags, but you need to check out the description and click on the link to check out that post and read and learn more. Marketing Smarts viewers, I have to ask, are you going to be next to get the spotlight shined on you? Remember, community, use that hashtag MPB2B on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, and get the light shined on your awesomeness in the next episode or a future episode of the Marketing Smarts live show. Pro tip, it won't hurt if you tag me in your post as well. I'm at George B. Thomas on LinkedIn and X, and Mr. George B. Thomas on the Book of Faces, as one Mr. Chris Brogan calls it. All right, let's kick it back to Vin Turk and some words of wisdom around this topic of CTV precision and the power of ABM to reach the right, very important word right there, by the way, right B2B audience. Here's what Vin Turk wanted to leave us with pertaining to words of wisdom.
I'm going to give you 2 little ones. Don't sweat the small stuff, which is really look at the larger picture, the longer term picture here and what you're after. And don't get too bogged down in little tiny things that kind of push you to the side just a little bit. And the other one is something that my dad said to me when I was in the 2nd grade. I was a drummer and I was starting the orchestra, and I had a horrible experience, and the orchestra conductor yelled at me and made me cry in front of the whole class there. And he said, you know what? It's like water off a duck's back. During your experimentation, during your testing and trialing and entering new things, it's not always going to work out. And if you let that bog you down, it's going to suppress that curiosity. It's going to make you not want to be as curious and experiment and see what else is out there. So have that long-term vision and strategy and goal in mind, and always stay focused on that. You are going to run into issues, hurdles. Team members may decide to leave. New people will join that need to get ramped up. There'll be setbacks. But as long as you stay focused on that North Star, you have that guiding light. You have that compass that leads you to exactly where you know you need to go.
Woo-wee, that compass. So you know where you need to go. Don't sweat the small stuff and don't get bogged down. Water off a duck's back, by the way. I love both of those pieces of advice or words of wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, have you enjoyed today's journey? Let us know using the hashtag MPB2B on whatever platform you are joining us on. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Head to the description below. Click on the link to the full Marketing Smarts podcast with Vin Turk and keep on learning more about CTV precision and the power of ABM to reach the right B2B audience. Remember, these were just a few clips of the original Marketing Smarts podcast interview. If you got value from today's show, hit that like, and better yet, share with a friend or a coworker. To keep learning more, hit subscribe or watch additional Marketing Profs videos on your favorite social channel, or head over to our YouTube channel if you're not there yet. Or you can go tune into the original Marketing Smarts podcast episode on your favorite podcast app. Don't forget to become part of the Marketing Profs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. That's mprofs.com/MP today. And as always, remember to be a happy, helpful, humble B2B marketing human. And we'll see you on the next episode of Marketing Smarts Live Show. Well, I usually say next week, but to be honest with you, it's probably going to be like Friday is when you're going to be able to turn into the next episode. So see you Friday.